Why do cultures across the world feel compelled to celebrate death at the same time of the year? The standard answer you'll get is that it's all traced back to Samhain, the Celtic harvest festival which got Christianized and eventually became the candy-fueled Halloween. And some people even think there's a secret attempt to instill devil worship in us through these celebrations. But that's not the real story. The reality is far more interesting. Halloween is a psychological necessity that emerges in every culture. If you erased every Halloween tradition tomorrow, something would grow back to replace it. Because when the cycle of the year turns towards winter and the nature dies around us, the human psyche demands a ritual response. If you understand this, Halloween becomes one of the most powerful tools of your path. This goes deep. Welcome to the Mystic's Guide to Halloween. Let's start with the basics. Mystic doesn't mean mystical. It actually refers to someone who has been initiated into the knowledge of the wisdom tradition. Because to the uninitiated, what a mystic does goes completely over their heads. Mystical has come to mean something vague and woo-woo. But on this channel, it simply means an insider's perspective on wisdom tradition. In other words, actual knowledge. One of the most useful symbols for understanding Halloween in the ancient way is the cross. In fact, you are the cross. Countless traditions have represented the cross in beautiful ways. The Celtic sun cross, the Mesopotamian or Anatolian cross, the swastika, the four winds of the northernmost Sami people of the Europe. In this context, the cross is best seen as a symbol for a breathing system. At the north point of the cross, the lungs are empty. In the east, the lungs fill. In the south, they are full, and in the west, they empty. This universe creates breathing systems at different scales. The rhythm of a galaxy follows the same pattern. The earth breathes. You breathe. In Halloween's context, the year is the right scale to examine. The winter solstice area is of course the birth point of a new cycle, near which the Son of God is typically born. In spring, we celebrate the victory of light. The cycle fills at the summer solstice, and it begins to die after autumn equinox. In every culture there was some festival after the autumn equinox where the dead and the horrors of the other side were brought into the celebration. So what happens in that western quadrant after the autumn equinox when the breath begins to empty? Here's what you need to understand. This yearly cycle is the planet's breath. You are not separate from it. When autumn comes, you feel it. Something in you knows the light is dying. And we have a massive psychological need, not a want, a need for rituals that mark this cycle. We don't usually call them rituals, we call them holidays. Christmas, Easter, Midsummer. But these aren't just parties. Their symbolic content is absolutely vital to our psychology. Without them, we become unmoored, disconnected, lost in time. And in that Western quadrant, every culture recognized something crucial. As the breath empties, as nature dies, you must face death. You must open the door to the other side. Across countless cultures, before winter's arrival, people brought death close. They created festivals where the boundary between the living and the dead grew thin. Even the Christian tradition, when it spread across Europe, chose to place All Saints' Day and the All Souls' Day at the beginning of November, acknowledging this ancient necessity. Today, we see it in Dia de los Muertos in Mexico. The ancient Greeks had Anthesteria. The Celts celebrated Samhain. Different names, same function. Because if you don't consciously ritualize the descent into darkness, the descent will ritualize you. You are a breathing system, remember. You are part of the same planetary breath that's now exhaling, emptying, dying. Your ancestors knew something profound. When the world around you dies, the wisest thing you can do is to die with it, symbolically. They would invite the powers of death into their homes, light fires to guide the dead, leave food for the ancestors, wear masks representing death itself, not because they were morbid or superstitious, but because they understood. To be healthy, you must drop the burden of the previous cycle. You must let it die, so that your next version can be born ready for the new cycle. Halloween is a ritual space where you can let old identities die, release what no longer serves you, drop the masks you worn all year, so that something new can be born when the cycle turns again at winter solstice. The tradition gave people permission to consciously release what they'd been carrying, to speak with the dead, both literally their ancestors and metaphorically the parts of themselves that needed to die. Also to acknowledge what had been in shadow, to let go, because here's the crucial part. If you don't let these things die at the right time of the cycle, you carry them into the next year. They become weight, burden, the undead parts of yourself that should have been released but weren't. Now here's where most people who understand this ancient wisdom make a critical mistake. They look at modern Halloween, the plastic decorations, the candy corporations, the sexy costumes, the commercialization, and they feel disgusted. They see it as a corruption, a travesty, an insult to this profoundly important ancient festival. I thought exactly this for years. I was convinced we needed to purify Halloween, strip away all the modern nonsense, return to some authentic ancient practice. But I was wrong. Here's what I've come to understand. Halloween takes the form it needs to take. In every era, always has, always will. In medieval Europe, it looked one way. In ancient Greece, another. In pre-Christian Ireland, something else entirely. And in 21st century consumer culture, it looks like this. Costumes from Amazon, candy from the store, parties in nightclubs, kids trick-or-treating in suburban neighborhoods. And that's not a problem. That's the ritual staying alive. I now encourage you to join the modern Halloween celebrations. Embrace them. All of that energy. Millions of people dressing up, confronting symbols of death, playing with fear, stepping outside their normal identities. For one night, all of that energy is available to you. You can use it. You can dance this ritual through its modern form. Why not embrace the practices that surround you? These are the most important features of Halloween at this point in history. This is how the ritual survives, how it adapts, how it continues to do its work. And here's the thing, it doesn't matter that most people participating don't know what ritual they are performing. They probably never did, even in the ancient world. Throughout history, the vast majority of people celebrated these festivals without understanding their deeper meaning. That's fine, that's normal, that's how it's supposed to work. The initiated, the mystics, the seers, they know. You can know. You can keep that knowledge to yourself or share it with those who ask. But you don't need to purify the festival or convert the masses. What matters is that this crucial festival is alive and thriving in our culture. The form changes, the function remains. If you want to learn more about how to use the year's cycle to your benefit, check out mysticsguide.com.